Hello, I'm Lynn Onstot with the City of Joplin, and this is the show Joplin Insider. This show is meant to bring you different ideas and programs and services here at the City of Joplin, and today we're really excited to have Robin Standridge from Wildcat Glades and Conservation and Audubon Center. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. It's here in Joplin, in the southern part of Joplin. I don't know if a lot of people have been there. Sometimes it's hard to get to out in your own hometown to see all the sites, but we're going to learn a little bit more about the Audubon Center. I really appreciate you being here, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, well, to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about the Audubon Center, when it started, and what it offers the community?
Okay. The Wildcat Glades Conservation and Audubon Center was actually built in 2007, and the way that it came about was really pretty interesting. Just a bunch of dreamers, community members that got together, and there's a funny story that goes behind it. They didn't know that they couldn't, so they just did.
Good for them.
These community members thought, why can't we have a nature center here? And many of them weren't paid. They ran around and they found money, and they put the center together, and here we are 10 years later.
Yes.
So we are now officially a tween. So we're just really enjoying that, and so that's actually how it started. So a little bit about the center. There are all kinds of things to do out there. As you walk in the front door, and you'll see a 1,300-gallon aquarium right in the front. So that is a kind of a neat thing to see. And it's filled with fish that are native to our area. So it's pretty interesting. And there are also a lot of little critters that are native to our area that you'll see also. We have Trevor, our rabbit, which a lot of people like, that little rabbit. He's adorable.
So can the kids pick up and hold him and handle him, or just pet him?
They can pet him. If you sweet talk some of our volunteers, they'll actually take him out of his little pool that he sits in the middle of the floor, and they'll pick him up and let them get really up close and personal with him. Yeah.
So, and I know the kids really like that, to come out and see the different types of animals and things. So in the aquarium, you have fish and turtles, and now have you named those? Do you name those animals, or those?
We don't name the animals that are on exhibits because we want people to understand that those are not necessarily our pets. Trevor, our rabbit, is a little bit of an exception to the rule, but we want people to realize that these animals are there for them to see. You would be surprised how many people have not been up close to a turtle. We see it all the time, and it's really pretty fascinating. And I have to say, they're really fun. They look like little acrobats. They stack on top of each other, and it's just beautiful to see.
Yeah, that would be. I know I've seen a lot of the land turtles, but the water turtles, they usually, go underwater as soon as you walk by them in the lake, in the pond or wherever. So you don't get to see them. And
with this clear aquarium, you can see straight through. So you can see. I have to say, our little bitty snapping turtle is. He looks like a bobber. He just bobs up and down in the tank, so it's really adorable.
Yeah, that would be. Well, many people I know talk about going out and hiking the trails, or going out to the Audubon Center to walk around, to hike. So tell me a little bit more about these trails.
Well, the trails, we have around 4 miles
of
trail. So it's a pretty good little jaunt. The trail is really good for either beginning hikers, people who are just out for a casual stroll, or if you really are adventurous and would like to go over the bluff. We have a very large bluff. It's made of chert, and it is over 50 feet tall. That's for someone who is a little more adventurous and their knees still work properly. But it, by all means, I mean,
it's safe to go on and
take a stab at it and get up there. And
is it marked? Does it say steep climb or anything of that nature? If you stop
in at the Audubon Center, we'll be able to give you a map to show you how far you need to go, and it's marked clearly on the map that this is going to be a steep incline.
So people will know.
I wouldn't take my stroller up there. We've had people try. They were very adventurous.
Yes,
but I wouldn't recommend that, and I wouldn't take a toddler up that way. But for young hikers.
Well, speaking of what you can take on the trails, you can take your children, obviously. What about, horses, dogs, people that like to take their animals along with them?
Well, we ask that you don't take your horses or your dogs or your bike on a certain part of the trail. But there are places on the trail that you can take your animals, and it kind of confuses people as to why can't we have our dog on this trail, because they love their animals and they want their animals to get good exercise. Well, we love your animals too, but we also love the bunnies and the squirrels and the raccoons. And if you take a dog, for instance, on a trail that is a natural area, simply by the dog marking the area, the wildlife will shy away from those areas, and that's what we really want people to be able to see. We want them to be able to experience nature up close. So
yeah, because I think some people think it's because of the mess of the marking, and but it's more of just the scent then that creates the problem.
It's the scent, and even though you have the best dog in the world, just dangle a rabbit in front of them and see what happens. They're probably not going to stay on the trail. And then there's also the issue of other hikers out there.
Sure. Some may not like dogs or be afraid of dogs sometimes. So yeah. Well, I know Turk Glades. You mentioned that. So tell me a little bit about the Turk Glades.
The Turk Glade is really it's not found a bunch of places. We're pretty unique. Globally, we're one of the few spots that have such a large concentration of Turk Glade. So oftentimes people will refer to it as Flint. It's a little bit, that is what other people call it. But come out and see it. I think you'd be surprised. Like I said, the bluff, that's what it's made of, is chert.
So it's a rock.
It is a very hard rock, and it's made of little bitty microscopic creatures. So they are just layered one on top of the other. So it's pretty amazing when you think that you can have 50 feet of microscopic
that is incredible. So,
well,
that makes me think school trips, what an education for them. So do you see a lot of the school groups come out?
We do have several school groups that come out throughout the year. We have some funders that really want to see those kids still have that experience. We've all heard that schools are losing money, and so that always creates a little bit of a problem, but we have some great people who want to step up and help.
So there's a fee, a small fee, or?
Very small fee. The kids wind up paying between $3 and $5 per student. So, but that helps keep the doors open to the center.
Sure. And you're providing an educator there for that whole time, and provide them resources and give them some, I know you always have like a little takeaway item or something to make. So
always busy.
Yes, that is true. So you talked a little bit about the things that we'll see on the trail, the wildlife. What other things are on the trail that we can look for?
You can see lots of native plants. We really would like to see more people planting native plants in their yard. And removing things that are not native. Native plants are very important to our water system, and they're very important to the birds and the insects. So we want to see native plants. You'll see that out there. Wildflowers, gorgeous wildflowers out there.
Do you have certain hikes or certain times of the year that you take the wildflower hike and that kind of thing?
Wildflowers grow pretty much, except for right in the dead of winter. You're going to see wildflowers. We have new ones out now, so it's really pretty interesting to see.
They're seasonal, aren't they, when they bloom?
Oh, it's just gorgeous. So you can pretty much see them any time of the year. We would suggest that you do come out and hike. We would love to see more people out on the trail. Last year, it's really interesting for us. We do keep track of how many people come on the trail. So last year we had over 55,000 people on the trail.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, yes, and there was a flood in the middle of that.
Yes.
So we didn't get to count everybody. So that's pretty impressive.
How are you doing after the flood? I know you had some cleanup days and the community coming out. Are you still needing help?
Yes, we have one coming up really soon, and be watching our Facebook and our website for more cleanup days, because when we think we've got it all cleaned up, then there it is again. As a matter of fact, we had just finished cleaning up from the 2015 flood. I had just sent off my final report in April, put it in the email, and it started to rain. And so then we had the flood of 2017.
Yes. Working at the city, I don't have to do the reports, but I know our finance director gathers a lot of information on that. So you mentioned your Facebook, and I was wondering if maybe, I think Abby and Maddie are working the board today, if they wouldn't mind pulling up the Audubon Center's Facebook as we're talking. We'll continue talking and won't, oh my gosh, that was quick. So look at all the colors in that Facebook. So people can come on there and look at all of the different pictures that people take and post on there. There's a picture of the trail.
Yes.
So is the trail marked? Will they know which way to go? And again, come in and get the map. But
come in and get the map, but it's also marked. It's pretty easy to follow along the trail. It is really easy for people to.
Oh, it's got all sorts of things that you're showing, different classes and trails and bikes and.
Oh, we had a great time. We have the Better Bike Lady coming October 3rd. That's going to be really neat.
And the show may be aired after that, but
Oh, it's going to be fun though. But we are always having great things going on out at the center.
Yeah. And how would they find out about those?
I think our Facebook page is really good at keeping up to date. Like if anything changes last minute, you're going to know from there. So that's probably the best way. We also send out a newsletter. You can come by and get one from the center, or call us and tell us, and we will either email you one or mail it to you.
Okay. And at the city, I try to include some of your programs in the Citizen, which is our quarterly newsletter. Yes. So, but they can always call. And again, you have a website as well. Yes. So list information there. We talked a little bit about some of the programs, but what other programs do you offer? I mean, we talked about the school groups. What other?
We do have a preschool program, which is really pretty popular. We have different people sponsor that. This year we have an individual sponsor for that program, and it's free and open to the general public. We do ask, because it's so popular, that people register, so we don't have too many little kids to be able to handle. Right. It's not fun when you can't hear.
Yeah, when you don't have room, and and little kids want to be able to wiggle a little bit. You need some wiggle room there.
Yes, so it's that actually, we're going to have spooky creatures, which is something coming up, and then
is that for the Halloween?
That is for Halloween, and we'll have a program called Ghostly Glades, which is something new at the end of October, where people will be able to go on the trail. It will be lit with luminaries.
Oh, nice.
So be watching for some more of that. This has been a dream of many of the people at the center for a while. So we're going to be like our founders and just go for it.
Right. So where do you get the ideas for the programs? Just, again, people suggesting and questioning? And
volunteers. They come up with these great ideas, and we just listen and we follow.
So you mentioned volunteers. So you, with your programs, you have a lot of volunteers out there, and are you looking for more volunteers?
Always looking for more volunteers. We have about 175 volunteers.
Wow, that's great.
Some I see once a week, some I see once a year. And that is fine. They're among the best people on the planet. Volunteering is good for your health. It's good for the community. And
how would people get started in volunteering? What do they need to do?
Well, they need to call me, Robin. I'm the volunteer coordinator. That's one of my hats that I wear at the Audubon Center. And then we sit down, that you fill out a small application, and then we have a small interview. We do a background check, and we put you busy doing things that you want to, however you want to help us out there.
See. I did not jot down your phone number. Can you say it, and maybe I can jot it down, and then we'll have Abby or Maddie put it up on the screen?
It's 623-2211.
221. Oh, that's too easy. Yeah, 623-2211. So if you have questions or want to volunteer. So I know you talked about some of the native plants. I know when people come out there and they park and they see the entrance, and if you haven't been out there, you'll have to see it, but people say, why aren't they mowing this? Why aren't they maintaining it? Tell me a little bit about your front yard, so to speak.
Our front yard. Well, our front yard is not a typical front yard, and some people think we're closed, and some people think we have gone on a hiatus somewhere. But it is actually about the reason why it looks like it's overgrown. It's for the habitat. Many birds, many animals need that. They need the coverage. If we get rid of that, then where are the bugs going to go? If you get rid of the bugs, then where are the butterflies going to go? The birds, they also need those plants to survive. So it is a natural habitat. It's really fun to hear the Girl Scouts come in now because they know when they come in, this is habitat. So it's all natural habitat. We do have a few areas. If you come up and look, there's some pathways that are mowed, so you can walk through.
And I've noticed the markers that are identifying some of the plants and help people, because a lot of those are the things that you see, when you're traveling, or you might see them along the roadside, or if you take some of the trails in other places in Joplin, you see those. So it's nice to kind of put a name with those. Those common native plants. So. Well, you have some fun things here. Is this something that's available at the Audubon Center?
Yes, we have. If you're looking for little things for your kids, especially, we've got lots of little critters in our shop that you can come and purchase, and that just helps us keep the center open and free to the public. We don't receive tax dollars, which kind of surprises some people. So we have to find other ways to keep the.
You're not for profit, and so you're basically just by gifts is how you stay open.
Yes, gifts. We do have a few grants, but most of the time it is totally by donation, general donations. So we do encourage people to come by the gift shop. We sell a lot of the books from the Missouri Department of Conservation, like the Paddler's Guide that we have here.
Yeah, you might hold that up and let people see that. Yeah. So about canoeing in Missouri?
Yes, this is very popular.
I could imagine.
So a lot of the guys and a lot of the ladies who really like to canoe and to kayak, they'll come in looking specifically.
Kayaking's gotten really popular, it seems like. I don't remember it being as popular, until most recently, but it seems like everyone's like, well, you offered a kayak during your water festival.
Yes.
That was one of the big prizes.
We had 2 kayaks donated to go to someone who would, you would enter our little raffle, our duck race.
Yes.
So the 2 top prizes were kayaks, and people were really excited about that.
I think that's great. Well, I was going to look at some of these. What's this guy?
That is our little spider. He's a finger puppet.
Oh, he is.
So if you're looking for gifts for your kids or for your grandkids, they
don't get me started. I love finger puppets. You can ask my kids. Yeah.
And these are the Audubon birds that are. They do have. That is the sound that you will hear from a real cardinal.
Yeah. So they can learn their bird sounds, bird calls. Yeah. Now tell me the skunk doesn't spray. Please tell me there's no scent.
No skunk
okay.
spraying.
Make sure we're realistic there. Just checking.
But we do have a few. We do have an owl in here, and we don't have him in here, but we also have another little owl finger puppet. But we're expecting to bring on another animal at the Audubon Center here in the next. Probably next
Are you telling now, or
yes,
you have to
I'm
wait?
telling you.
What do we have?
We have a barn owl
my
on the way.
gosh, that's
So
awesome.
we're excited. We're waiting for the permits to be finalized because it's against the law to have to keep one captive. So.
But you have gotten permission.
We have gotten permission.
Yeah, obviously, as an Audubon Center, that you know how to handle them. So
that will be a neat addition coming up.
So he'll live at the center.
Yes, he will live in the center. He or she. We're not quite sure the gender yet.
I love to hear an owl. I live out in the country and I love birds. I'm still working on my bird sounds. Well, we talked a little bit about the gift shop. I know I've picked up, CDs on your bird calls, and that's helped me. And like you said, you have kids' gifts, you have T-shirts, you have all sorts of things. What's this down here?
We have. This is the time of the year that you need to be looking out for our furry feathered friends, actually. This is a bird feeder that you can come out, and this isn't actually an Audubon bird feeder, but you can come out and purchase bird feeders. We're getting ready to go next week to replenish our stock in the stores, so we're going to go to market and come back with lots of really neat bird feeders. We're going to be having a little bit of a re-grand opening of the gift shop.
Nice.
So that'll be coming up in November.
Okay, we'll have to watch for that. I know, like I said, I'm a big advocate of the center and the gift shop. I've already done some Christmas shopping there, so I would encourage you, if you like nature, this is a good place to go to shop. So we've talked a little bit about the various things, but we haven't talked about when you're open.
We are open from. I want to make this clear. You can walk the trails from dawn to dusk
Okay.
So we do not have to be open. We don't close the gates. There are a few rather large metal gates that people are worried that we close those and their car will get stuck in there. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
I think those gates have been closed when there's been I think maybe a flood.
Okay.
But
for safety purposes.
Yeah. But other than that, they're open. So do walk the trails anytime.
Okay.
Pick up your trash.
Yes. Yes.
Pick up your trash.
Please.
That's important to us. But the center, you can come. The center's open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then we're open also on Sunday, but until November.
Okay.
So March through November, we're open on Sundays.
In the afternoon or in the same?
1 to 5.
Okay.
On Sundays.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because in the winter, people they get, the holidays obviously take a lot of time, and things are slowing down, and a lot of times it's cold in the winter and they don't want to get out.
Yeah. I'll still be out there.
Yes.
It's a nice little trek even when it's cooler.
So you talked a little bit about some of the animals and the pets. I remember, do they have an adopt a pet program or adopt an animal?
We're getting ready to revamp our adopt an animal because we need a little bit of help to make sure that this owl is taken care of, and also Willow, our American kestrel.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Willow.
Oh, Willow's a beautiful American kestrel. She's still a little bit skittish and shy. But it takes some dollars to feed those little babies. So if people would like to adopt a critter, they just need to give me a call.
Okay.
And Trevor also, he needs to eat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Trevor, the little rabbit. So.
Yes, he's so cute.
Yes. Now, you have an educator on staff, Chris, is that right?
Yes.
And he does a lot of these programs, and you all participate in the community events, right? Go out and what kind of information are you providing when you go out of the center?
It depends on what kind of fair we're going to. We were at the arts fair and a lot of at the arts festival, and so we have art exhibits in the actual Audubon Center, so you can see different art, photography, painting, different quilts, things like that. So we did a little art project, bird-related art project.
Fun.
Sometimes we have lots of volunteers who also go out, not just Chris sends them along on their way, but they will take some of our snakes. And they'll take those.
I can't get excited about that. Sorry. No, that's good. It's good. People like snakes. Yeah.
Oh, and the ones that we have are very used to people. Yeah. So
actually, I attended the snake program myself. I mean, it was funny. I was probably the oldest one there because there was a lot of kids, but I needed to familiarize myself. Kind of get to a comfort zone. Since I live out in the country, I don't want to scream every time I see a snake.
And most snakes around here, they're not there to harm you.
Right.
You just want to. You don't want to get in between them and their food. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So he'll send them out with that, and then also with some of the native plants, different things, different information about that, and of course all about the birds. Always about the birds. So we're real interested that people understand that the different kind of plants that they put in their yard will either attract birds or not.
Okay, and you have books and things like that. They can go to the library and you can find this information out, call you, and
we have a reference library too that's open to the public, and not very many people.
I did not know that. Yeah.
We've got it right there on the exhibit floor. Just look through those. You're welcome to that.
So a lot of good information there.
Very good information.
Yeah, and it's a good outing for your kids. I mean, if you just want to take your kids out for an hour and sometimes experience.
Picnic out there
yes.
too. Speaking
of kids, I know you just added another fun feature we almost forgot for the kids. What's it called?
It's the Eagle's Nest Nature Landing. I'd love to see a preschool program out there and get in the large Eagle's Nest to put all of them down in there. That's really adorable. There are musical elements out there. It's all about playing outside in the natural world. The kids adore it. That place has not been quiet for very long. It's always busy. Always
so how
busy.
did that come about? How do you get a children's playground that is nature oriented? Did someone build it for you, or?
It was kind of crazy. But we had a couple of different funders that they said, yeah, we would like to throw in a little bit of money. But actually it was just the innovation. It was really kind of funny to hear people talk about what they wanted in there. It's like they took a little trip back into their childhood and they decided what they like to do, like the balancing beams. So we have logs out there that they can walk on and balance on, and there are a few forts.
Yes, I was saying you have to make a fort. Always
yes.
have to build something to hide into, and
and our volunteers were out there, and they had too much time and too much fun with it. So they can also build a bamboo fort right
and
there.
it's out on the property. So again, that's open during the trail hours.
It's open during the trail hours.
So,
we also put in benches for parents to sit on, so
nice.
they can
Relax.
see them wherever they are.
Right, and to relax a little bit. I know you have a little pavilion. Now I know you have a room also that can be rented out or available for community events. Is that right?
Yes, we have. We're able to accommodate up to 125 people in those 3 classrooms.
That's nice.
So we will. That's open and for rent for people if they want to have their company picnic or their Christmas things coming up. We do rent it out for.
I know my niece's baby shower was out there. It was awesome, and because she's married into kind of an outdoors family, and it really was a nice setting for it.
It's also good for staff retreats.
Oh,
if
yes.
you get in there, you're doing some strategic planning, and you need to go take a hike because
right. Well, yeah,
just get the juices flowing.
And, that it offers a nice outdoor venue as well as an indoor. So, okay. Well, real quick before we wrap up, I want a bird count that comes up the end of December.
December.
Okay. What do you remember? What days? Or
I don't remember.
It's towards the end of December after Christmas.
It is toward the end of December, and then we have the kids' bird count in January.
Okay. Now, why did we do bird counts in the winter?
A little easier to see.
Makes sense to me.
So that's really about.
And we're really looking for those that are native here, correct?
Yes.
That haven't migrated. So that's the other purpose. I know. Again, I've learned a lot by going on those, and some people really know their bird calls. I'm impressed. They can say, "Oh, there's a so and so." I was like, "Where?" Well, you can hear it. I was like, "You can, I can't." So yeah.
Oh, it's very impressive to watch those birders in action.
So, well, do you have an active birding group that meets regularly, or is that a different?
We have the chapter, the Ozark Gateway chapter.
Okay.
And they're an Audubon chapter, and they support the center wholeheartedly and financially, and just by different programs that they have. So they meet every month.
So that's another program people can get involved with. So that sounds great. Well, it looks like our time's wrapping up, and I just really want to thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot about the Wildcat Glades and Conservation and Audubon Center. It's a mouthful, so I usually just say the Audubon Center. But I hope our viewers were interested in this, and if you get a chance, I'd go out there as soon as you can and check it out. It's a beautiful place, and again, I want to thank you, Robin, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers. And this wraps up this edition of Joplin Insider. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.